Hello and welcome to Hot Commodities, and we have a very special episode today on the NSCL. 2 years on. It has been 2 years since the scam broke out and the trading was stopped at NSEL, and even as the regulators and investigation agencies have been involved, the result really isn't very satisfactory. So the EOW is still investigating the broker's books of accounts, and assets worth rupees 4,000 crores have been notified for auction. Let's start with a lowdown on the past 2 years, and let's get in Vijay Iyer to give the story so far and where we stand as of now. Vijay.
Manisha, as you're rightly saying, it's 2 years, and all we know, the first year was mainly when FMC chipped in, then subsequently NSCL trading was suspended, then Mr. Jignesh Shah and others were declared as not fit and proper. Subsequently, they were made to exit from MCX where they held the source. SEBI as a regulator chipped in. So primarily a lot of things happened, and also the investigating agencies, particularly the Economic Offences Wing of Mumbai Police, got into the action mode. We all know that there are many arrests, including that of Mr. Jignesh Shah, who subsequently came out on bail. But clearly, if we see the last 1 year, say from 2014 of July 31st till now, to be very honest, it was all about a litigation, and it was all about the legal hurdles. So say from FMC's perspective, they had a very limited role to play from where things were, but a lot of things changed because FMC now has got merged into SEBI, and from October 1st, the commodities market will also be managed by market regulator SEBI. So clearly FMC has been doing a lot of cleaning act when it comes to the commodities market. From the investigation perspective, the Economic Offences Wing, we know, had arrested 3 brokers. Of course, they subsequently got bail. They are now in the process of finalizing the next round of charge sheets, particularly against the brokers. And as you're rightly pointing out, 4,000 crores worth assets have already been notified for auction. The competent authority is in the process of writing to MPID court to begin the whole of auction process. And quickly, if I could add, from NSCL's perspective, to be very honest, as a company, although they claim they have been doing many things, there is a Bombay High Court appointed committee which is looking into many of the auctions of defaulters. Clearly things have not moved. So clearly last 1 year primarily has been litigation and counter litigations with little movement on the recovery front. But yes, the final move came in from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, which has come out with a draft order for merging the scam tainted NSCL with the parent FTIL, which again is once again pending in the Bombay High Court.
Well, absolutely. Pending is the word that we have been hearing for last couple of years now, and nothing much really has come out of that. Thank you, Vijay, for that. Continue to stay with us. But let me introduce you now to the special panel of guests that is lined up to discuss the issue and, of course, give us a way forward, because discussions have been a lot and enough, but it really is time now to get the solutions out. Joining us on the show then are Kirit Somaiya, who's BJP leader and MP at Lok Sabha. We also are joined by YP Singh, who's former IPS activist. Joining us also is Ketan Shah, who's president NSCL Investors Action Group. Chirag is representing NAARA Investors Association. And we also are joined by Mr. Prakash Chaturvedi, who's joint MD NSCL. We will also get on the show later on Ameet, who's founding partner Naik and Naik Company. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us, and we are looking forward to a fruitful discussion here. But first of all, Kirit Somaiya, to you, you have been vocal on the NSCL issue, raised the voice on the matter as well, on regulatory agencies also. Now with BJP in center as well and is in state as well, has anything changed? The monies have still not been recovered. So what's the kind of progress we are looking at right now?
News has come out that the government of Maharashtra is planning, and the process started to appoint a special court to handle NSCL issues. It is true that the previous government has created a chaos. Now, I had discussion with the officials and also the Minister of State Jayant Sinha at Government of India level. We want to expedite the process, and there is an, in a way, the finance ministry has asked a senior official to see how the whole process is expedited. It is during the Modi Sarkar the proposal of FTIL and NSCL merger has come up. That is also a way to help small investors.
Sure, Mr. Somaiya, that's a good one to have. But Mr. Singh, this one is to you really. Why do you think the auction process is taking so long to start? As under the MPID, even before the case goes for trial, auction can begin rather.
The auction process is a civil component of the MPID case, and where the competent court has to take the evidence with respect to the properties which have been attached, and whether the attachment of the property is very specific to the proceeds of crime with respect to the case. But what is becoming apparent here, that the Mumbai police is attaching properties left, right and center. So if somebody has a property which has been purchased from other legal sources and later on he has done a crime, and this crime is of a lower quantum, a pecuniary quantum vis-a-vis his earlier acquisitions. So if you attach the entire property, this won't be just and fair, and this is also not consistent with the specific provisions of MPID, which clearly says the acquisitions of property have to be from the proceeds of crime, not otherwise. And therefore, I think this auction process will create a lot of confusion. There is also a big question whether MPID will be applicable in this case or not. This is at the moment sub judice. So I think because of this confusion which is prevailing, because of the error in law which is being which is specific to the case, I think the auction of the property won't be so easy to come by.
Well, of course, it has been pending is the word that we keep hearing yet and again. Ketan, this question is to you. Let's start with the discussion. As an investor forum, would you say that perhaps there is some lag here as well, because maybe you haven't been able to present your case very efficiently? Is that one of the reasons that we haven't seen any result come out?
Let me tell you, as investors, we are sad and shattered. After 2 years, we see no hope. It's all doom and gloom. As far as presenting our cases, various cases in various courts, let me tell you, 90% of the Mumbai bar has been already booked by Shah and FTL, NSCL and their 24 chores. So we are not left with efficient lawyers, and we are being fought with our own money. So it is practically a David versus Goliath fight. Our hopes were on investigative agencies which have really let us down, especially Mumbai police, which we feel is badly compromised.
Mr. Chaturvedi, would you want to reply to that? Because what Ketan is really trying to say here is that perhaps it's the justice which hasn't really worked in a very positive way. You, of course, came in much later after the NSCL thing happened, but what has been the scenario as of now?
See, I would like to say what Mr. Ketan Shah is saying. There's a fight between David versus Goliath. When I first met Mr. Ketan Shah, my comment to him was that we both are on the same side, and together we should be fighting the defaulters, the chores, as he says, rightly says to them. We should be fighting them, and instead what I see is that the entire fight is against FTR, its promoters and NSEL. Little effort is being made to go after the defaulters and the complicity of the brokers, which has come out very clearly by way of some very recent complaints. We also would like to question out here why the entire action, the concentration of action has only been on FMC or has only been on FTL and NSCL. Action has been taken on them on the basis of a forensic audit report which was on NSCL. That forensic audit report also named 4 other brokers. Now, if that report was good enough to take action against FTIL, why similar action has not been taken against brokers? Why have they been left scot-free? So those are some of the...
Mr. Chaturvedi, if you could just add, as you said, whatever your argument may be, if you could say, what has NSCL precisely done? It's going to be 2 years. What are the steps other than the court monitored, appointed a committee which is working on the recovery process? NSCL on its part has spent so much money on marketing and so much money on so many other things. What has NSCL done to recover the money, and how much have you recovered till date in the last 2 years?
Yeah, what I am tell you that precisely what I am telling you. The recovery will be happening very fast and very efficiently if all the forces together are channeled towards disgorging money from where it is holed up. It is those 17 or 24 defaulters with whom the money is. Apart from that, I would like to tell you there is about 4,300 odd crores worth of property has been injuncted and has been decreed for, there has been a decree on admission, and about 575 crores worth has been already disbursed. So this is a total of about 5,000 crores I am accounting for. This much has been done only on the basis of efforts of NSCL, and thanks to the some of the efforts, by EOW.
But when do we see the money flowing back? That's the most
There is
relevant
money
question.
flowing. I will not be in a position to make any assurance of that unless we have money coming from defaulters. Is there anybody who is really chasing defaulters? They are having a very happy life.
Well, that's
There is
really
so
true
long-
because we
I
tried
would beg
calling
to
some of
differ.
the defaulters and none of us really picked up our phone. We were trying them for the show as well. So that really is a relevant point. Yes, Mr. Shah.
Now, investors and
Come,
NSCL, they cannot be seen on the same page. Reason being, we have documentary evidence that NSCL, Jignesh Shah and FTIL knowingly squandered away investors 5,600 crores to those 24 Johnnies. Now, we cannot be seen on the same page because they are the perpetrators of the crime. The chores cannot be entrusted with recovery at all. It is my writ petition in Mumbai High Court is pending to dislodge NSCL board.
Ketan,
And,
really thing is we're trying to have a fruitful discussion here, trying to
Let's not
sort.
get personal on
Yeah,
So,
Chirag.
no, I think
yeah.
the point,
Chirag, what I want to really ask you and start with is that you are one of the brokers and you are under the scanner as well. How are the brokers really working with all of this thing now?
See, Manisha, as I had made it very clear to you even before we started, that I've come here in my personal capacity. I am an investor. I have also lost my own money,
Sure.
and I represent an investors group. If you wanted to, want a broker's reaction, you can get in touch with the broker forums, and I'm sure they'll be able to, come back to you on that. My short point to Mr. Chaturvedi is that he's waxing eloquent about all the efforts that they've taken and the fact that nobody else is seemed to be fighting the defaulters as such. My question to him is that this High Court appointed committee, none of the defaulters are actually coming there. The largest defaulter, whose father-in-law is the chairman of the exchange, was the chairman of the exchange, he challenged the formation of the committee itself, and on technical grounds, he was allowed to go scot-free because he said there are no substantial proceedings that NSEL has initiated against me. So can Mr. Chaturvedi here, who's been talking about all his efforts, can he please explain to us why recovery suit against NK Proteins, the largest defaulter whose father-in-law is the chairman of the exchange, why was it filed after 16 months of the scam breaking out?
let me add something, Manisha.
I think we should get Ameet Naik at this point in time because he really is the legal counsel, and let's get all of this from him. Ameet, hi, it's good to have you on the show as well. The court monitored committee really was your idea. Even Chirag, the question that he's put out to you, what is the ground progress? Where are we standing at this point in time? What is the way forward? How do you look at the whole thing at this point?
Yeah, so Manisha, Sure. So Manisha, first of all, let me start by giving you a perspective of where is NSCL 2 years later. Most importantly, you have a situation, first of all, unprecedented, where NSCL has obtained money decrees in the aggregate sum of 1,200 crores. NSCL is going to execute and is currently in execution of these decrees. So after a period of 2 years and incrementally more than 1,200 crores, NSCL is in a commanding position where it has actually obtained monetary decrees of 1,200 crores and it will obtain further decrees. This is against the defaulters. Secondly, and most importantly, there is a prima facie finding by the investigating agencies on the basis of the input that NSCL has provided that the money trail to the last penny is with the defaulters. This is even what the investigating agency like ED has said. Now, this is the second step in the right direction. Third, as far as the High Court committee is concerned, the High Court committee is a fact-finding committee. That fact-finding committee today, after a period of 30 meetings, obviously every litigation goes through its rigors in terms of challenge. After a lot of rigors and challenge, there are some people who are outside the committee, but I can assure you one thing, that they are not very far away, because against those defaulters who are outside the committee, even like he said, Chirag, in terms of NK Protein, we have an injunction. There is not a single defaulter, barring one or two, against whom we don't have ad interim orders where their properties have been injuncted. So other than a 1,200 crore decree, you have a situation, Manisha, where there are actually injunctions against every defaulter. I must say this, and what Mr. Somaiya said is a little important, that ultimately the focus, even in the court, must be singularly to focus on the defaulters. My sympathies with Chirag and my sympathies with all the investors and the elephant,
something
Mr.
to say
Ketan
to you,
Shah.
Ameet, on that.
There's
Chirag,
no
go ahead.
question about it.
Ameet,
but the issue is that after 2 years,
Yeah, go on, Chirag.
Amit, the problem is, we've heard this so often, and this entire business about decrees on admission and money decrees and so on and so forth. You are a very, very, learned counsel.
No.
If you could tell us, how much time would it take? You're saying that, this is some significant step on some kind of a great achievement after 2 years.
Let me answer that question.
Yeah.
Let me answer that question. Chirag, yes, let me answer that question. Let me answer that question right away. In India, even when it comes to bank recoveries, or even it comes, and please understand, NSCL is a platform and not a person who has guaranteed any amount. NSCL is not a legal counsel.
You are
patently
giving
false.
guarantee.
Defense, keep
That
the
is
defense
patently
aside,
false.
And
That's
I
a
said
lie.
focus on the recovery. 1 minute. Let me come
No,
back
Amit,
to
then
the
you
issue.
must take you must take back what you
come
just
back to
said.
the issue.
No,
And the issue
I
that
don't
you
want
raised.
to. Amit, the point is not
sorry,
that.
NSCL
You
was
can-
not just a platform. You were counter guarantors.
if you are
Based
going
on
to
your
overshout
guarantee,
each other,
investors
I think we need to
invested
let
money.
one person
Let us-
finish talking here. Ameet, yeah, go ahead.
Listen. Mr. Shah, let us, yeah, I don't want to get adversarial. I'm going to give you my point of view. You are entitled to a point of view. Please hear me out.
Yeah.
You are asking me, what has NSCL done? That is Manisha's question. We are in a situation where NSCL, with all its efforts, has got money decrease. Now, in terms of recovery, I understand what you're saying, but in terms of recovery, these decrees will have to be realizable. There are tangible assets, admittedly, of these defaulters. Why are we not focusing on these assets? That's exactly what NSCL is doing.
So, I
That
want
is
to raise
what
a
we should be
question here as
focusing
well.
on in complete spirit with each other.
Sure.
And that is what you are doing.
Yeah,
Amit, you know-
Amit,
sorry.
this is Vijay Iyer here.
I'm sorry.
Just as you're rightly saying,
Yeah.
with
Now
your
let us see
experience, you
this.
know how the courts function,
Yes.
how the judiciary
Yes.
functions in this country. If I could just ask you, as you're rightly saying, properties are there, it has been attached. Would you like to say a realistic time frame, say 6 months to 12 months from now, we would have some money in the kitty, and NSCL would push for that extra process to get expedited?
Can I tell you this? Yes, let me answer that question. If we all focus, let me tell you, if the actions that you proposed against the defaulters, do a 396 on the defaulters, make sure that the companies are attached, make sure that you go after the promoters of the defaulters, I can tell you that without batting an eyelid, that you will be able to realize money from the defaulters in a shorter time. Next year, when we talk about this, or much sooner, you will be able to realize money.
No,
Well,
that's
we're
very-
not talking about it in the next year as
Manisha,
well, but I need to
Manisha, I
quickly
would
take
like
a
to
break
button,
and
sorry.
come back. I think we all need to catch our breath. Amit, stay on with us. We'll take a very short 1 minute break and come back and continue this discussion. Stay on.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.